Hello everyone. Today we're going to be working on multiplying fractions and whole numbers. So our learning target for today is I can multiply a fraction by a whole number, including those in number stories. So let's start off our lesson by thinking about a number story. So here's our friend Hope, and Hope, who loves to bake, made an apple pie and a cherry pie. And her family ate 2/3 of the two pies. How much pie did they eat? So what we want to think about here is breaking each one up into 2/3. So I'm going to start by drawing out some thirds on our pies. And then I'll shade in 2/3 on each. So this is 1/3 and this is 2/3. Okay? And then I'll do the same thing with the other pie. So we'll break it into thirds. And then we'll shade in 1/3 and then 2/3. So now what we need to do is we need to count how many thirds we have all together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So all together we ate 4/3. And that's the same thing as 1 and 1/3. So you saw in our last example how we took each whole and broke it into the number of pieces of the denominator. So we're going to do the same thing here. So in this particular problem, I'm looking at 3/4 of 3. So I started off by drawing 3 holes. 1, 2, 3 holes. And then I need to look and figure out 3/4 of each one. So I'm going to start by drawing out each one as fourths. We can just assume that these parts are all equal sizes. And then for each whole, we have 3/4 because it says we have 3/4 of the 3. So I have 3/4 of the first one. I have 3/4 of the second whole. And then I have 3/4 of the third whole. All together, I'm going to count how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I always want to remember when I'm thinking about what the denominator is, I want to always think about how many parts are there in a whole. So I'm going to look back to one whole and see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Okay? So we have 4 parts in a whole. So 3/4 of 3 is equal to 9/4. Let's remember from yesterday that the word of means that we multiply. So really in this last problem we did 3/4 times 3. For this one we got 9/4. Okay? Go rewind if you don't remember how we got 9/4. So I want to think about mathematically what we're doing here. I'm going to come back to this slide in just a second. But now, let's remember what we've done before. If we thought about 1/4 times, say, 1/3, we can remember that this is equal to 1/12. When we multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators and we multiply the denominators. That's what we've really been working on. So when we come back to this idea here, 3/4 of 3 or 3/4 times 3, I have a whole number, so this whole number doesn't actually have a denominator, does it? Do you see, though, anything happening with these numbers? Pause the video and look for a second at the numbers. Well, I hope that you noticed that 3 times 3 equals 9. and then fourths and fourths are the same. So I want to show you how to write this so that it follows the rule that we've been learning. 3/4 times 3 equals 9/4. So I'm going to write the 3 as a fraction. So we can write 3 as a fraction as 3/1. Why do we write 3/1? Well, 3/1 means that we have 3 parts, and in each whole, there's just one part. So it's really like just drawing out 3 holes. Okay? Each whole has one part in it. So now we can multiply the numerators. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4. Now I want you to try this with 1/2 of 5. I want you to do 2 things. I want you to pause the video and I want you to draw a model of 1/2 of 5. And then I want you to write it out mathematically how I just showed you. Pause the video now, and then when you unpause, you'll see what I did with this one. Okay, so here's how I solve this problem. I'm thinking about 1/2 of 5. So I drew out 5 holes. I'm going to divide each one in half. And then I'm going to mark a half of each. And then I'm going to count how many halves do I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'll write that down. I have 5. And then the number of parts in a whole is 2. So I have 5 halves. That's equal, just so we can remember that we always want to put these into lowest terms, to 2.5. And rewriting this problem mathematically like I asked you to do, we would write 1/2 times 5/1. 1 times 5 is 5, and 2 times 1 is 2. So we got the same answer here as we got up here. And that's 2 1/2.
Okay, boys and girls, get ready for your quiz today. I did it!
First question, 2/3 of 7. Second question is 3/5 of 5. And the third question is describe how to multiply a fraction by a whole number. Remember to use complete sentences when you answer that one. Have a great night.